She make a certain amount of money.
That's a loaded question too. Yes
Here
and
we
no.
go. Here we go.
Making a lot and having a lot are two different things. If you have your assets, if you have the mindset of wealth is what I'm seeking for. So yes, there is a dollar amount. I'll I'll start with 200 annually, but that 200 consists of like property, other businesses, 401k, trust fund, things of that sort, things that I'm building to leave with my baby that my parents have left for me.
So I gotta be a stepfather, and I gotta have to make 200K to be a stepfather, and I gotta be 5'10". How is this not limiting your options, mama? How is this not a sure way of making yourself die a single mom, die alone? So you're saying a man who makes 150,000 is not good enough? You're saying a man who's 5'8" is not good enough? And he's got to be a stepfather because you're a single mom. Yet you didn't have these same requirements for your baby daddy. Damn, man, it's crazy out here.
Okay. Would you date a man that made less than 200K, or that's the minimum?
Minimum.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Guys, we need prayers. We need, as black men, we need to go 6 months on a food strike for some of the standards these women have. She said 200K is minimum. In other words, if a man makes $195,000, I'm not even going to say 199. I'll just say 195,000 is not good enough. And you know the only reason they say that kind of money? Because they want you to come in and pay for their lifestyles, the traveling, the Dubai trips, the Jamaica trips, Cancun, Turks and Caicos, Bali. You know, they want you to come in and do that lifestyle so they can take photos for the gram to make their homegirls jealous. The bags, the shopping, the dinner, expensive dinner dates. She has a baby, so you gotta take care of the baby. You gotta be a good rich stepdad.
So,
Well, like I said, that's loaded. If you like 150 and you have like 12 properties, that's your 200 right there. That's a mindset.
Oh my God. So if I make 150, I gotta have 12 properties, 12 houses to qualify for a single mom.
okay. So if his assets either make 200K or have assets that equal up to 200K.
Minimum.
And you have a 3-year-old child, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming your 3-year-old child's father fit that requirement.
We were never in a relationship until we got pregnant.
Oh my God. So the baby daddy didn't require those, she didn't have the same standards for the baby daddy. But for the new man who's gonna be a stepdad, you gotta have 12 houses and make 150,000 minimum. Otherwise, you gotta make $200,000. And her excuse is she wasn't in a relationship with a baby daddy. It means it was like a one-night stand. So she can have one-night stands and make a whole human. But for the stepdaddy, for the new stepfather, you gotta have all these things in place. So she's doing things the opposite side. Damn.
You know, the men are gonna say you gave a man a baby who didn't fit that requirement. Why?
Exactly.
So the situation with my daughter, I found out I was pregnant 1 year after my mom passed.
Okay, so we don't care.
For me to wait this long, obviously there is a requirement. If I waited this long to have and I don't want to call my baby an accident baby, so I'm gonna call her a blessed baby, because she came at a point where something was missing and she filled a void, if that makes sense.
But that has nothing to do with a new man who's going to be a stepfather. Why have these ridiculous requirements, the man who's willing to be a stepfather, when you didn't have those same requirements for the man you had a baby for? He was good enough to have a baby for, with no standards, no requirements. But me as a stepfather, I gotta be, shit.
So No.
I mean, I lost a mother, so I do know the trauma when you lose mothers and you go through things like that. We'll move forward. I'll just ask this final question.
Okay.
Hypothetical. Let's just say two things can happen. One, there could be a man watching and he fits your requirement and wants to date you, and then we got a match. If you don't find a man that fits that requirement that wants to date you, are you okay with never dating again?
No, God has a man for me. My husband's
They say the same thing. So every single mom, for some reason, believes that God has a man making all this kind of money who's willing to be a stepdad. Every single mom believes that God in the sky has a husband store full of rich husbands, keeping them just for them. Even if all of them ask for the same archetype of man, they all believe God has a store where he's keeping all these men for them.
out there.
Crazy.
No. I'm saying I'm saying hypothetical. Let's say your husband's out there, but he doesn't make 200K, or you are for certain God will send you a man that has 200K or plus.
Ask and I provide.
Okay. Well, there you have it.
Delusion.
I'm so
All right,
faithful. I believe it. God, I mean, if he's working his way to that, if we're in like the 125 to 200, and I see, like I said, it's a mindset, and your mind is, if you got a late start, I'm cool with that. But as long as you're working your way to that, I just don't want to. I don't want to stop my progression, and I don't want to revert back. I don't want to backpedal. As a man, it takes a certain type of man to accept this and to appreciate it. And I don't want to put you in a position to where you're struggling to show your appreciation.
Have you ever dated a man that fits that tax category?
Yeah.
Good question. What happened?
Yeah.
Oh, he was a cheater.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course he was a cheater. Let me guess. He was controlling. Let me guess. He was abusive too. You all just want a perfect man. Like I said, they believe God has a company where he manufactures perfect rich men who are willing to be stepfathers. And every single mom wants one of those guys. Now, God is the greatest. He's almighty, the creator of heaven and earth. But you're going to have to convince me that God has, I don't know, like what, 10 million men, perfect million men, rich men, willing to be stepfathers. I will believe it when God shows me those guys who are willing to be stepfathers.
Okay, so now we're getting deeper. So make this amount of money and be faithful.
I'm faithful, and I make it.
We're not talking about you. We're talking about him.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kendra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
So
question.
you dated the man that made that tax amount, but he wasn't faithful.
No.
So faithful is really your deal breaker, not the money.
Yeah. The mindset, and it's all, like I said, it's all in the mindset. You have to want these things. There's a man out there that wants to be in a relationship, that wants to be successful, that wants this partner, this life, this helpmate that's going to help him progress.
But are you those things, and does he want you? There are other women in your situation who want the same kind of man, but they're not as entitled as you are.
A whole bunch of helpmates that does a little bit here. This one does this one does that. No, I do it all. I can do it all. I'm a helpmate.
No, listen, of course the man exists. The question is it has to be a match, right? So he has to want you back. And
Exactly.
according to this conversation, you already talked to God about this.
Oh yeah, we talk every day. I prayed before I got on here.
Oh, well, okay. All right, let's do the Kendra Cam.
Okay. I'm in my car, so let me see if I can.
This is crazy.
And I am at work.
This is crazy.
Okay, we see the hits, girl. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I mean, she's thick for the brothers who want thick,
All right, we see, honey. What was that?
thickums, right?
What's that?
I like her sunroof too, so I guess she makes some good money. I mean, it's probably a car note, but she's not a bad looking woman. But her standards and entitlement and boundaries and preferences just make her just unattractive.
What was that show back? That dancing girl, not Fame. What's that famous movie? Because you have on like the outfit that girl. I don't know.
I know
How
what
old
you're
are you?
talking about.
Oh,
When
you're
he lifted up.
39. I'm older than you. I forget.
No,
It's an
I know what
old.
you're talking about. Dirty Dancing.
No, not Dirty
Not
Dancing.
Dirty
It's
Dancing?
okay. Forget about it.
Okay.
It's an old movie. I was a kid, but either way. All right. When was your last relationship, Nettie?
Outside of my daughter's father, it was my ex-fiance 2020.
Okay, it was Flashdance. Thank you, my
Flashdance.
seasoned cousins like
Flashdance.
me. It was Flashdance. 2019. Oh, are you not having sex until marriage or relationship?
Relationship.
Okay. 2019. You don't and the last time you had sex was 3 years ago?
See, my daughter was about. Remember, I found out when she was 5 months, so about 3 years ago.
Okay. 3 flaws you have to work on.
Here we go.
I can be very stubborn. And I
Entitled.
wrote it down. Hold on.
I hope you have entitled in there in the flaws.
I work a lot, and sometimes my punctuality is a little delayed.
You should have added I'm entitled, and I'm very delusional. Another flaw you should have had, Mama, is you clearly don't understand how God works. Because God doesn't help delusion, right? If I don't work, God is just not going to give me a check. I'm going to have to put in, some work, go to work, punch in. I don't know if I got no job, I'm going to have to apply, put in some applications. God is just not going to bless me. I'm going to have to put in some work. So for you to have all these weird standards and requirements for men, I don't know. I mean, good luck. You're not a bad looking woman. For all I know, you could be a nice woman, but the entitlement and those preferences, you're going to have to change them if you really, really want a chance at a man. Because everything you mentioned, all other single moms want. So what do you do better than other single moms? Good luck. So shout out to Kendra. Video is 42 minutes, so I won't finish all of it.